In the fast-changing world of technology, Apple has built a reputation for setting the standard every single year. Their products are not just gadgets. They're trendsetters that often define what the rest of the industry will follow. And when it comes to wearables, Apple is at the front of the race. The Apple Watch is no longer just a smartwatch. For millions of people around the world, it has become a health companion, a workout coach, a productivity tool, and even a lifeline in emergencies. Every September, Apple fans and tech enthusiasts wait eagerly to see what the company will introduce. And this year, all eyes are on the Apple Watch Series 11. The excitement around this new release is not random. It is based on a combination of rumors, leaks, expert opinions, and Apple's track record of delivering steady improvements each year. While many expected the Series X to be the big leap forward, it turned out to be more of a redesign year than a functionality year. That means the Series 11 is positioned to bring the meaningful upgrades that many people were waiting for. Apple has already laid the foundation with the thinner body, larger display, modern look of the Series X. Now with the Series 11, it is time to build on that design with powerful new features that could make the watch even more indispensable too. Fully understand the hype behind the Apple Watch Series 11. We need to look back at what happened with the Series X. When it was released, it was celebrated for its physical changes. The casing was made slimmer. It's about 10% thinner than the Series 9. This made the watch sit more comfortably on the wrist and gave it a sleeker appearance. At the same time, Apple managed to increase the screen size without making the watch itself any larger. The edge-to-edge design gave users more room for watch faces, text, and complications, making the display not only beautiful, but also practical. In fact, the usable screen area on the Series X was larger than that of the Apple Watch Ultra. Even though the Ultra itself looked bigger, these changes were impressive. But many users felt that the Series X was more about looks than about function. Under the hood, it was powered by the S10 chip. While capable, the performance improvement was not drastic compared to the Series 9. The battery life remained about the same. Most day-to-day tasks on the watch didn't feel dramatically different. That's why the Series 11 is now so highly anticipated. With the design already updated, the expectation is that Apple will bring real substance this year. One of the most talked-about upgrades for the Series 11 is the new S11 chip. On the surface, a processor upgrade might not sound exciting, but in the world of smartwatches, it makes a huge difference. The processor is the brain of the device. A better chip means smoother animations, faster app launches, and more reliable performance across the board. The S11 is expected to be built on a more advanced manufacturing process, possibly a smaller nanometer size. That technical detail means the chip can do more work while consuming less power. In simple terms, it will allow the watch to run faster, without draining the battery more quickly. What does that mean for everyday use? For one, Siri interactions could become much more responsive. Imagine raising your wrist and asking a question without waiting for a delay in response. Health tracking, which often runs in the background, could also become more reliable. The watch could process more data without slowing down, for those who use apps. From music streaming to navigation, everything will feel quicker and smoother. The efficiency gains of the S11 might even extend the battery life a little, which is always welcome. After all, one of the main complaints people still have about smartwatches is how often they need to be charged. But the chip is only part of the story. The Series 11 is also expected to take a major step into the future with its own custom 5G modem. Up until now, Apple has relied on third-party modems for connectivity. But with this new generation, Apple is reportedly building its own solution. For the first time, the Apple Watch will be able to connect to 5G networks. Now, you might wonder, why does a watch need 5G? It's not like people will be streaming higher resolution movies on their wrists. The answer is about stability and future-proofing. Around the world, 3G networks are being shut down, and even 4G is inconsistent in some places. Moving to 5G ensures that the Apple Watch stays compatible with modern networks for many years to come. The benefits are practical. It's faster and more reliable Siri responses, smooth music, streaming when you leave your phone behind, more accurate real-time navigation, and even better emergency services when you are out running or cycling without your iPhone. For many users, this could be a game-changing upgrade, but perhaps the most exciting addition to the Series 11 is the long-awaited blood pressure sensor. For years, people have speculated about when Apple would bring this feature to its smartwatch. The Apple Watch already tracks heart rate, oxygen levels, and even performs ECG readings. But blood pressure has always been missing. Now with the Series 11, Apple is finally expected to close that gap. This sensor is likely placed on the underside of the watch, could alert users if their blood pressure rises to unhealthy levels. For athletes, it can act as a safety check during intense workouts. For people with hypertension or cardiovascular risks, it could provide an early warning before something serious happens. Even for those dealing with stress, real-time monitoring could be incredibly useful. While it may not replace a full medical-grade device, the watch could serve as an early warning system, encouraging people to take action before problems escalate. This is another step toward making the Apple Watch a central tool for preventive health. At the same time, one feature is still missing: non-invasive glucose monitoring. Already have working prototypes. However, the challenge is making the readings accurate enough for medical approval. Till then, Apple is not rushing it to market. Many analysts believe this feature could arrive in Series 12 or Series 13. But for now, people who need glucose monitoring will still rely on third-party devices. When it comes to design, don't expect drastic changes this year. The Series 11 will likely keep the same overall shape and screen sizes introduced with the Series X. Apple usually keeps a design for several years before moving on. However, we may see refinements. New colors, new band options, and possibly new materials. Apple has been pushing toward eco-friendly materials. This could be the year they highlight that commitment in their watch lineup. There might also be special editions or collaborations with fashion brands to keep things fresh. One of the big questions surrounding the Series 11 is battery life. Adding a 5G modem could mean higher power consumption. But thanks to the efficiency of the S11 chip and optimizations in watchOS 11, Apple is confident the Series 11 will at least match, if not slightly improve, the all-day battery life of the Series X. Low power modes might also see improvements, allowing users to stretch the battery even further when needed. As for the release, Apple's pattern is predictable. The Apple Watch Series 11 is expected to be announced at Apple's September event. Alongside the iPhone 17 lineup, it's most likely the keynote will take place during the week starting September 8, 2025, with pre-orders opening shortly after and deliveries beginning around mid-September. Pricing is also expected to remain steady. The base aluminum model will likely start at $399 with larger sizes, cellular options, and premium materials costing more. All of this paints a picture of a very balanced upgrade. The Series 11 may not reinvent the Apple Watch, but it does not need to. With a more powerful processor, 5G connectivity, and the long-awaited blood pressure sensor, it is shaping up to be one of the most practical and meaningful updates in years. For people using older models, especially those still on Series 7 or Series 8, this could be the perfect time to upgrade.